Ladies and gentlemen, I've got a treat for you here today because we're talking Star Wars Visions and some insanely epic revelations. If you don't know, Star Wars Visions, the anthology animated series that we got, which was the anime style series on Disney Plus, now is going to be getting a comic book series. And my goodness, if you have a comic book store next to you, go out there and get this first issue because some incredibly epic stuff happens in this very first issue, and it is absolutely mind-bogglingly epic. So if you remember the character of the Ronin, the epic kind of samurai character that goes through and just whoops everybody that is in his path, just a tremendous short, we actually pick up with this story of the Ronin. He's out here adventuring. He eventually reaches what seems like a hot spring, and he's just kind of bathing, hanging out. Suddenly, there's another character that approaches him, and he's immediately kind of taken aback because he's not certain if he should be cautious or worried, and they start talking about their history. They get talking about certain things as to how they've gotten to this point. The Ronin tells him about all the different enemies that he's defeated with a beautiful panel. Remember all those crystals that he was carrying? So it's kind of almost like alluding to that storyline, which is just brilliant looking. But then here's where the exciting stuff happens. Then this other character begins to speak, and he begins to talk about the war that took place back in the day. And what's interesting about that is that as he starts discussing this, there's some things that we can pick up on that definitely hint to the idea that this might be a very familiar character. So what is it that he says? Well, first and foremost, he refers to himself as a shogun, letting people know that he is kind of a quote unquote general, or at least he was referred to back in the day, back in the war, as a general. Then he says, the one thing I remember at the start of the war was a day where he wakes up and he felt like something was going to go wrong, at which point he says that he was struck by lightning, which is very interesting. Which character would that be? Who's a general who was struck by lightning and fell from the top of a tower? Isn't that intriguing? But here's where things get even more interesting. After they go on ahead and have this discussion, they kind of wrap things up. Each one of them is about to head their own way, at which point the Ronin says, hey, I realize that you're here to hunt me down, so let's just do this thing and let's have a battle between the two of us. It is at this moment that the new character strikes upon the Ronin with ferocious speed and a purple lightsaber, which is very interesting because if we zoom in on the hilt of the lightsaber, we can see that that is Mace Windu's lightsaber, which is super duper sick. And then, as if all that wasn't enough, the final panels of the book, as far as the actual lines from this character, is him saying, "This party's over, man." Of course, another iconic Mace Windu line. What an absolutely stellar first issue, setting up the actual narrative of Mace Windu in this world, which is super duper sick and exciting. And I would love to see an actual animated short of this kind in the future of Star Wars Visions. Let me know if you guys like this concept of Mace Windu going on to be this absolutely epic looking samurai, lightsaber, Jedi, rogue Jedi. I don't even know what you want to refer to him. But the point is, we saw how awesome the Ronin is, and Mace Windu disposed of him with ease.
It's pretty cool that I'm alive and have better days. I could walk, see, hear, I should celebrate. Think I could change my mind, maybe elevate. Living life, every day, late at night, not okay. All I want, and I pray, all I need are some better days. Yeah, all I need are some better days. Cause all I want is the better days. I'm kinda stuck between a rock